Hello, everyone. Welcome to Morning English. This is Colin.
Hello, everybody. This is Cecilia. 欢迎大家收听早安英文。Hey, Colin, do you read much?
Yeah, of course.
I mean novels. 我是说小说哈。
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. You know, when we say, do you read, we really mean novels. Everybody I know can read, so of course they read articles and news stories on the internet, their phones, But that's really different than reading a novel.
So, how often do you read?
Every day. I usually read part of a novel every night, and I usually have 2 or 3 novels on the go at any one time.
Reading 2 or 3 at the same time? Really?
Well, not exactly at the same time. On the go means in the process of. So in this context, maybe I'll read some, maybe 1 or 2 chapters of one novel and then change books. Maybe read a few chapters of a different book. So it means I'm reading 2 books on the go.
所以这个 on the go 和 at the same time 意思还是有一点区別的。那 on the go 表示的呢是正在進行中，所以說我手頭有幾本書正在進行中，不是說我長了6隻眼睛在同時看哈，而是說呢在同一時間段內，我這本書先看幾章，再換到另一本書去看幾章。那這個書本的章節呢，我們叫做 chapter. But doesn't that get confusing? 2 completely different stories and characters?
No, look, it's like watching 2 TV show episodes in one day. There's no problem.
Oh, I see. Why don't we talk about books today?
Sure, sounds good.
So, what's your favorite novel?
That's a difficult question to answer. There's so many great novels. But if I had to choose just one, it would be The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. It's a historical adventure novel.
Le Comte de Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Love it. It's a really classical novel.
Yeah, it is. And in the West, everybody knows the novel, even if they haven't read it.
其實在中国也一樣哈，世界名著《基督山伯爵》啊，19世紀法國文豪大仲馬的巨作。
Yeah, it was written in 1844, I think.
I've only read the French version though, and I guess it must be difficult for me to read novels in English that are so old, Some of the vocabulary and the style of writing is quite different to modern English.
Yep, that's true. Even native speakers have this trouble. After all, it's not an English book, right? It was originally written in French. So, it's good that you have chosen the French version.
So, did you read it in French?
No, I could, but I've only read it in English. But because it's a very famous book, the translation is excellent.
Now, you said it was an historical novel. Does that mean the story was true?
No. Saying it's a historical novel is like saying it's a period piece in a movie. It just means that it takes place in the past from when it was written. But it's still a fiction book. Fiction
are stories not based on real people or facts. 那 fiction 呢，就是指這種虛構小說，情節純屬虛構，如有雷同，純屬巧合的那種。
That's right. Non-fiction are books about real things. For example, a school textbook is a non-fiction book. Or books written about a famous person from history are usually non-fiction.
Right. 那與虛構小說相對的呢，就是我們的紀實小說了，叫做 non-fiction。像我們的教科書啊，或者說這些名人傳記啊，這些內容呢，一般都是紀實的。So the Harry Potter books are fiction.
Sure. But it doesn't have to be about magic or anything like that. Just a story about regular people doing regular things is fiction if the people are not real.
Right. When we say novels, we usually mean fiction books, right?
Yeah. If it's a non-fiction novel, we will always say. Although there's another way to say it, especially about crime novels.
Oh yeah, true crime.
Right. So, Cecilia, you are young. I find that young people don't read novels as much anymore.
Yeah, that's true. There are so many other distractions. Most young people spend a lot of time on social network sites like Weixin or QQ, and also video sites like Bilibili and Douyin.
But you still read, right? What's your favorite novel?
It's hard to pick one. Can I say Harry Potter?
Of course you would like Harry Potter. You're always so dreamy. Huh?
其實为什麼說哈利波特呢？虽然长大了之後也讀過很多這個優秀的小說，其中也不乏一些這個所謂的嚴肅文學，那可能會更加的深刻，也能給我更多的養分。但是總覺得小時候啊，看哈利波特那個廢寢忘食、手不釋卷的狀態，後來就很難再有了。
So do you use an e-reader or do you like to have a real book in your hand?
E-reader 呢，就是我們現在常用的這種電子書、電子閱讀器。Actually, nowadays I just use my phone. What about you?
Well, I have an e-reader, but I like paperbacks the most. Paperbacks are the smaller books with a soft cover, and we call the bigger books with a hardcover a hardcover.Usually a book first comes out as a hardcover and then later is also published as a paperback.
愛看書的朋友們應該都知道哈，這個書本它有平裝本和精裝本之分。那精裝本呢，一般都是那種硬皮封面的，所以叫做 hardcover。那平裝本呢，就叫做 paperbacks。You know, I had several textbooks in school that were not hardcover but were still very big.
Yeah.We would call them softcover textbooks. There's not many times you see a softcover novel. It's mostly like textbooks.
What about picture books?
Oh, yeah. They're usually called coffee table books.
咖啡桌图書啊，就是這種供咖啡茶几上擺設用的書。主要呢，供人瀏覽，開本大，插圖豐富，而且比較昂貴啊。So there are books that you leave on the table in front of your sofa for people to look at.
Yeah. But if they're comic books, you know, that are a little like hardcovers, we call those graphic novels. Graphic is a word used related to drawing or printing.
這個 graphic 呢，它本身是表示繪畫的。那 graphic book 就是指這種漫畫小說、連環畫小說。So I guess you have read all the Harry Potter books too. Many Chinese people love those books.
You guessed wrong. I haven't read any of them.
Really? It seems like everyone has.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people grew up with them and started reading them when they were very young. For me, I was 30 when the first book came out.Why would I want to read a children's book?
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that you are so old. You used to have a pet dinosaur. But what about the movies? You must have seen them, so you know the story, right?
Well,
You've never seen the movies.
I just don't like stories about magic. So I don't read or watch stories like that.
But I know you watched some of the TV show Game of Thrones.
权力的遊戲 Yeah.I read a few of those books and watched some of it, but if you remember the first few years, that story was about politics, the North and the South, and who was king, and after the dragons showed up, I just lost interest in the TV show and the books.
You're strange.
Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
没得聊了是吧？
Hello, welcome to Morning English. 早安英文呢是一个为大家免费提供英语教学的频道，每天都会更新。如果你想获得关于英语听说读写的内容，我们都会在这个频道更新。我们的目标是帮助全球的华人学好英语。如果你觉得还不错的话，记得给我们訂閱哦。另外，點開小鈴鐺，這樣的話就不會錯過其他任何學習視頻啦。對了，如果你想獲取本節課的完整版筆記，在視頻簡介或者評論區領取哦。你也可以給這個視頻點讚，點讚就相當於自動保存啦。
So thanks very much for listening, everyone. This is Colin.
This is Cecilia. See you next time.
Bye.